Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brett Ferguson, Realtor here, coming to you guys with another video. And today I want to talk about something very important. A lot of people are watching the real estate market, and a lot of buyers out there really want to know what it takes to get their offer accepted in 2025. Now, I've been a realtor now for almost 10 years, so I've seen that pandemic market, the pre-pandemic market, and now I'm seeing what's called the post-COVID pandemic market, and things are changing. And getting your offer accepted today, it takes more than just going over the asking price. You really need to understand the numbers and the psychology of creating an offer that's going to get the home you want accepted. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some secrets on what a realtor should tell you on how to get your offer accepted in 2025. Now, if you're watching this, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the algorithm get you guys the information that you need in this updated market to get all of your residential real estate questions answered. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Check out my video here on how to get your offer accepted in 2025. All right, guys, so getting your offer accepted in 2025 starts with number one, financing. And I'm not just talking about a pre-qualification. So there's levels to pre-qualifications and pre-financials before we go out and look at homes. Level one is pre-qualification. This is just a basic look at your information to say, hey, you are qualified for this loan, but it really doesn't mean much until you go to the next step, which is a pre-approval. The pre-approval now looks at W-2s, bank statements, and it actually looks at your income information and it looks at your credit score to come up with a piece of data that lets lenders know, like Rocket Mortgage or Bank of America, lets them know, hey, how much home can this person afford based on income, credit score, and tax returns? Fair enough, right? We can go out and look at homes with a pre-approval, but there's a level that's even deeper. And this is a fully underwritten pre-approval. Now, this right here is the granddaddy of financing when it comes to residential real estate with conventional FHA and VA mortgages. Pre-underwritten means not only have they looked at bank statements, credit scores, W-2s to verify income, they have now underwritten you, which means they've gone through transactions in your bank account. They've looked at even deeper information to qualify you and say, listen, at this point, if you go find the house, you're going to close. There's not going to be something that pops up from previous employment or previous late rent or some sort of delinquent situation that pops up later on. When we have what's called a fully underwritten pre-approval, you are at the top of the heap. I know now, when we go out to a house, you know how much your payment's going to be and you're comfortable with it. And the lender also knows that this person is going to close just fine the house. There will be no unexpected hiccups when it comes to financing. That allows us to focus completely on making the right offer and finding the right home because I know exactly now what your financing situation is. So fully underwritten pre-approvals, that's the way to go. Make sure to get one. That's going to help our offer get accepted. All right, so that's number one. All right, guys, so number two, know your market, and your agent needs to know how to craft an offer based on your market. What I mean is, how many days on market is the average for the kind of home that you want? What are homes selling for in the neighborhood that you're looking at? Okay, are there closing cost help being offered in these homes that you see? Are prices being reduced? How frequently are they being reduced? This is information that you can use to craft an offer that says, okay, we're going to make a financially smart offer that really allows for us to be able to know what we're doing here. And you can use data from information all around you. This is just a beginning set of data. I can go even deeper to determine, okay, well, if a home is listed by this particular brokerage, then I know it's going to take X amount of time for it to sell. Or I know that this school district is planning a referendum or some sort of expansion. This is going to increase the home sales. So this is what a seller may want. This is what we need to think about. There's also ways in your offer that you can do things that are a little unique. One thing is potentially a non-refundable deposit. So when we make an offer, you've got your earnest money deposit, but you can also do something called a non-refundable deposit, which the seller gets regardless. Let's say we want an earnest money deposit of about $5,000. We can add an additional non-refundable $1,000 deposit that says to the seller, hey, no matter what, you get $1,000. Look at our offer number one, and this is really going to get their attention. Another one that has worked for me is negotiating their furniture. See if the seller has furniture in the home and make an offer based on taking that furniture with you or bringing the furniture in the home, keeping it in the home, so that the seller has less things to move out. Think of unique and creative ways where the seller, for just a little bit from us and our side, that you can create a situation where the seller looks at your offer first. These are creative and unique ways that you can craft your offer, okay? One other thing is also contingencies. So in the pre-approval process or in our pre-qualification process, we're going to be talking about contingencies. And some contingencies can be waived, like the home inspection or an appraisal gap that will allow for us to have more leverage as we continue to make an offer. So those are things to think about. Okay guys, so number 3, I'm going to say it very plainly. It's called an escalation clause. Now, escalation clauses are great, especially when you're competing with other offers. If there's more than one offer on a home that you really like and I'm your agent, one thing I'm going to suggest is an escalation clause. Now, what this does, it allows us to beat out other offers by certain increments up to a certain sales price that nets the seller a dollar amount. And I'll explain that a little bit more. So say, for example, there's a home that's $300,000. I'll use simple numbers to kind of keep things going. Home's $300,000, and we know that this home has 2 other offers besides ours. There's 3 offers in all. In this situation, let's say $300,000, you can go over that a little bit. We go back to your mortgage lender and say, hey, there's a home that's $300,000, but I want to do an escalation clause up to $310,000. I know that in the area that this home will appraise at this amount, and I can find 2 comparison homes that can service this to say, hey, $310,000 will work. So what we'll do at that point is we'll say, okay, we're going to beat every other offer by $1,000 up to $310,000 that nets the seller up to $5,000. So we want to make sure that the seller can net $5,000 more by every other offer up to $310,000 in $1,000 increments. This is a very strategic way to make an offer if you're trying to beat out other offers. Now, your agent needs to be very familiar with the contract wording on this, because it is very important we understand that this all hinges on how much the seller nets, which means how much the seller takes home after real estate transfer taxes, after real estate fees, and after any closing cost concessions. We want to beat every other offer by $1,000 up to $310,000, where the seller nets $5,000 more than the next offer. Escalation clause. This is a very great way to beat out other offers, and if you have an agent who understands this, it will help you get your offer accepted. These are the differences between just opening up a door or doing great marketing and actually knowing how to read contracts and how to craft a deal. That's what makes the difference. All right, now this one here is the last step in knowing how to get your offer accepted in 2025. And what it really comes down to is having a connected and experienced agent. And that kind of goes into what I was saying previously about the escalation clause. Agents may have heard that term before, but not everyone knows how it actually works or have actually used it before or know when to use it. You want an agent that knows things like this, that knows their market and also has relationships. I know for me that because I've had a relationship with the buyer's agent, if I'm listing the home, or if I'm the buyer's agent and the listing agent on the other side says, hey, I know Bert, we did a great deal together. We had some friction points throughout the deal, but we stuck together to do what was best for the client, and we had a positive experience in the end. That can make the difference. Now, it's always the seller who's going to make the decision, but having great relationships in your local market and your agent having those relationships and utilizing them, it makes a difference. It can be the difference between getting into a home sooner. It can make the difference between your offer getting to the top of the pile. It can make a difference between getting some information, although not confidential, but information that can help our side get your offer accepted. So I've been doing this now for 10 years. And what I will say is that having positive working relationships with realtors and other builders has truly come in handy for my clients. So I would say that's going to be the last thing. Get an agent who's experienced, knows the market, and is tapped in and has a really good network. It can be the difference between you renting another year and getting that home that you want. All right. So those are my tips for how to get your offer accepted in 2025. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, and you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, X, anywhere you see media, I will be there to give you information and be your virtual realtor and guide you through this market. All right. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.